Having Down syndrome is like being born. I'm just like you and you are just like me. We are all born in different ways. That is the way I can describe it. I have a normal life. Chris Burke. Hello, I'm Betsy. I'll be talking about trisomy 21, also known as Down syndrome. I will be talking about trisomy 21, also known as Down syndrome. I will be talking about how it happens and telling you some facts. I will be telling you about my son Gabriel, who has Down syndrome, and how it affected him, his struggles, and his accomplishments. I will be talking about the signs and symptoms, and I will be telling you about how they are at higher risk for medical problems. I will also be talking about what I found on Down syndrome in the Native culture. What is Down syndrome? How does it happen? It happens because of faulty cell division that is called non-disjunction. Al Fleming-Fallon explains that non-disjunction happens in 95% Down syndrome cases. The baby receives an extra chromosome during conception, hence the extra chromosome 21. The normal number of chromosomes is 46, and people with Down syndrome have 47. Here are some facts. 1 in 700 births have Down syndromes. 450,000 people in the U.S. have Down syndrome. 1% of the Down syndrome community are Native Americans. Facts from Renicky. She wrote the article Life with Anthony. It was such an amazing article. She says, medical and social advances in the last century have dramatically improved life for people with Down syndrome. In 1910, life expectancy for a child with Down syndrome was 9 years. In 1983, it was 25. Today, it's 56, with developments in cardiology promising on an even longer lifespan. Roughly 40 years ago, the majority of people with Down syndrome spent their days in institution. Today, most live with their families in group homes or on their own. Today, 3/4 of social needs kids, including those with Down syndrome, attend inclusion classes with regular able peers. Some go on to college, work in the community, or even get married. This is my son Gabriel. He was diagnosed at birth with Down syndrome and an atrial septal defect, meaning there were holes in his heart. Due to the heart defect, he needed to stay in the NICU for a month after birth. It was hard for him to breathe because the holes in his heart caused fluid to go into his lungs. He couldn't breathe well, which meant he didn't eat well. For that whole month, he was tube-fed. My son had to go through open heart surgery to fix the holes in his heart. He needed to weigh at least 17 pounds before he could go through surgery. He reached 14 pounds in 2.5 months. His condition was getting worse. He was losing color because he couldn't breathe, and he stopped eating. A week before he was 3 months old, and at 14 pounds, my baby boy went through heart surgery. My baby boy is a fighter. 3 hours after surgery, he woke up crying. Sorry. That was the loudest I've ever heard him cry. I'm so sorry. I practiced this. I've never gotten emotional.
Now is the time too. It's okay. Just take a break and pause and you're good.
That was, he was hungry and he drank 8 ounces like it was nothing. Feeding him 8 ounces used to take an hour. He ate it within 20 minutes. After surgery, he was pretty much unstoppable. He is 3 years old now. Now he walks, runs, jumps, and plays. He eats, and he is in school now. But he didn't start doing all that without all of his hard work. My baby boy is only 3 years old, and starting at the age of 4 months old, every Tuesdays and Thursdays, he had inpatient physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. He had physical therapy and occupational therapy at home every Wednesday. In this picture, he is in a device called Creepster Crawler. It was supposed to help him crawl, but he never crawled. This is how he slept. Kids with Down syndrome have very low muscle tone, which in turn causes them to be very flexible. In this picture, he's wearing a vest. It's a weighted vest to help him find his center of gravity. Here's a quick video of how he moved around and how he sat up. It was so different, his doctors wanted a video of it on his file, and I don't think I can show you guys the video. Signs and symptoms of Down syndrome. Here's a picture of the physical characteristics of Down syndrome. A single palm crease, pinky curves inward, white spots on the colored part of the eyes, small ears, and a small mouth. They also have a flat tongue, which is why most of them stick their tongues out. It also makes it hard for them to eat, drink, and talk. They also have a wide space between the first and second toe. They have a flat nose and face, upward slanted eyes, wide short hands with short fingers, excess skin on the nape of the neck, decreased muscle tone. Some symptoms: mild to moderate intellectual disabilities. They're very quiet as a baby, not responsive to stimuli, and can have vision and hearing impairment. Here's a chart showing you the difference in a typical baby compared to a baby with Down syndrome. My son didn't start spooning until he was 1.5 years old. His first word wasn't until a couple months ago. He didn't start standing until he was 2 and wasn't walking until he was 2.5, and he still uses a sippy cup. People with Down syndrome are at higher risk for medical problems. Aurora Hardier states in her article, the NDSS of the U.S. reported that 45 to 63% of people with Down syndrome are affected with cardiac defects. 13% of childhood cases result in death. 23% in adult cases result in death. They could also have digestive disorder, conditions that affect the bones, spine disorders, hormonal disorders, poor immune systems, heart, kidney, and thyroid issue, respiratory infections, and skeleton abnormalities. I was able to find research of Native Americans and Down syndrome or people with disabilities. Native American tribes would be very accommodating to Down syndrome and disabled people without even forcing it. They just accept them. Their gift of a different reality was praised. They were referred to as Heyokas, meaning they evoke the magic of chaos. They believed that they had indescribable amount of holy, mysterious, and incomprehensible power. Most Native American languages have no words translating for handicapped or disabled. Native Americans are considered to be the first groups to use sign language, similar to modern sign language. Sign language helped the deaf and nonverbal and also helped elders communicate as well. Today I shared with you information about Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a very common genetic defect. Having a son with Down syndrome showed me that not many people just have basic knowledge about it. People with Down syndrome go through so much from birth and throughout their life, and there are some people in society who make it harder on people with Down syndrome because they are different. I hope that providing basic knowledge and showing you what they have to go through will help understand that they aren't different and just want to be treated like normal. With that, I'm going to leave you with this from Robert M. Hansel. There is no greater disability in society than the inability to see a person as normal. Thank you.